Okay, hello. Let's see. Let me just check if this shared to my group. And I don't think it did. Not sure what the point is. Okay. Hello everyone, it is Monika Davis with At Monika's Place. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Georgia and I'm live today. So today is, what's today? Oh, it's time to flip my calendar over here. It is July 21st. Let me just flip my, guess I have not done a live yet in July. It is July 21st, Monday, and I am here with you live. I'm going to be sharing my card class from last week using the Impressions Abloom or Flowers Abloom Suite. It's the Impressions Abloom Bundle, and the suite I think is called, no, it's called Floral Impressions Suite. So the suites seem to be named after the designer series paper. The bundles are named with the stamp set, and then there's usually a common word between the stamp set and the paper. So this one, the Impressions, is in the stamp set and in the paper. That's how they seem to be naming things these days. All right. I think I'm situated now. So you've got this stamp set. These came out in the May online exclusives. So they've been out a little bit, but I don't think I've shown this to you in a video or live yet. So these cards were going to be pretty simple. We're using the paper, the dies, the stamp set, the embossing folder, which is called the Pressed Flowers embossing folder, the gems. These are the Strawberry, Slush, and Pretty in Pink gems. So we're using all of these things today, and the paper. So I'm just going to show you, there's 6 designs. They're double-sided. This particular one I did not use on these cards. But that's one of them, and this is just a piece. These are all 12 by 12. So there's the second one and the third one. Oh, you know what? This paper is from, so I've been working on my virtual scrapbook retreat, the month by month album that Stampin' Up! Just did, and this design I think is the one I just used on the March page. We used this design. So people were asking where the papers came from. So this was used in March. All right, here's another piece, and I think this one was also used on one of the layouts. I think this one was used in the January layout. I've only got 3 done, January, February, March. So there's that. So maybe we're using some more of these designs. But my cards today are using these 5 papers. So we're making 5 cards, one with each of these. And this is called Floral Impressions Designer Series paper. Okay, let's move this over. So hello everybody, welcome. I know I haven't been live lately. I'm trying to a lot of times when we travel, we come home on Mondays, so it's made it harder to always be live on Mondays. That combined with that Facebook isn't keeping the lives longer than 30 days. I think I just changed my camera angle. Hold on. What did I do? Okay. So I'm trying to do videos and get them on YouTube because they won't get deleted the way Facebook is deleting the lives. So I'm trying to do a combination of pre-recording and lives. Today I didn't have anything pre-recorded, so here we are live. Let's see. Oh, whoops. Trying to see who is there. Okay, so we are going to get started. I also used another stamp set, Simply Said, because I did this as a card class, and this one is kind of an appreciation thanks stamp set. So when I have my class, I wanted people to have the option to use some other words if they didn't need that. And I also told them they could bring their own words to use as well. So they have the option to change things around. So, all right, I'm going to show you our first card. So I did use the dies. I used the large oval die. This is the plain oval. This oval right here cuts out the inside piece and then like a border piece. And then you've also got the dies. You've got the various flowers and leaves and stems. These, I really like the way they're doing the dies because if you notice, let me pull this out so you can see. These dies are two pieces, so you can use them two ways. You can use them together and it will make like a die cut flower that has all these little lines in it. Or if you don't use this inside piece, then you've got the option to die cut out the stamped images. So it's kind of two pieces. So the flowers are like that. These leaves, and then these are like the flower centers. So they will cut out the various pieces here, the leaves, the three flowers, the two centers. So the dies are a good set of dies, but I used this larger oval for these cards, and what I did was I cut a piece of the designer series paper, and it is about a 2" by 3¼ inch, 3½ inch piece. And what I did was I laid that on the white, and then I lined it up and cut out these two pieces at the same time. Now you could have gone ahead and glued that piece down. I didn't do that. I didn't glue it ahead so that the people in the class could glue it together, but I did cut them at the same time. So we're just gonna add that down here at the bottom. Okay, so it is starting to thunder outside, so that means we're getting a storm, possibly, and hopefully we won't lose power. All right, so for this one, I have the crushed curry. I took the garden green, which is what the leaves are, and the crushed curry from the flowers, and this is that pressed flowers embossing folder. This one is a regular embossing folder, not a 3D one, so you'll have to use the plates for a regular folder versus the gray plate instead of the 3D folder. So just look on your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and it tells you what the sandwich is for a regular embossing folder versus a 3D embossing folder. But it still has a lot of detail in there. So, losing a piece. So this one has the garden green base. And we're just going to glue that on the front. On the front. All right, this layer is for the inside, along with a 1-inch strip of the matching paper. I'm just going to put this here at the bottom. And here we go. We've been getting storms lately with like thunder, but not really any rain. It's kind of weird. Our weather's been very hot. All right, so we have that. Let me stamp my words. I'm going to use garden green ink to match the back, the base. Garden green ink. We are going to pull out our thanks. Let me just cap that. There's our thanks, and then you can add the so very much. Under there. So that is our stamping. So we're really only stamping words. I have linen thread, which is going to go around here. Tie this one. So I always do a knot first before I tie my bow so that it doesn't, so it's not too loose or comes undone while I'm trying to tie the bow. And then I hold my finger in the center and pull on those tails to get my loops the same. And I don't actually glue it down so that if I needed to, I could actually pull it. So I just kind of bend my cardstock just a little so it's not too tight, and then I can adjust like this where I want that bow to be. If it happens to be too loose for you, you could tack it down in the back with some adhesive. And then we are going to be putting this on there with dimensionals. Oh, now the rain is actually coming. And you could use a dimensional there in the center to help hold that in place. We need a good rain, honestly. All right, so here is this one. And I'm going to wait and add the gems at the end, and I'll show you why once I get to that point. So I'm going to make all 5 cards first. I'll just lay that one there. All right, here's our next one. This one is the garden green base with pretty in pink. A pretty in pink layer. we have this one. Here's that. And we just returned from a trip to Washington and Oregon. We were in Seattle, and then Portland, Oregon, and Eugene, Oregon. And we did not have any rain on that entire trip. Not any rain at all. And we were looking up how rainy, you know, because everyone thinks of Seattle as being very rainy. And I think Georgia actually gets more rain than Seattle over the course of the year, but ours is like condensed into fewer days, if that makes sense. So when we get rain, we get more rain at one time, whereas Seattle gets a little bit of rain on more days. Okay, we have our inside panel. And then this one, there's a big I appreciate you. So we're going to try that one out. And it was, when we were in Oregon, it was surprisingly dry. I was not expecting it to be so dry in Oregon. There's the I appreciate you. So we're going to put them all 5 together, and then at the end I'm going to add the gems, because I've got one whole, here are the gems. So I have one strip. When I cut for the class, I just cut everybody a strip so they'd have some of all the colors. Come on. My fingers are working. So with no rain and fairly clear skies, we got to see a lot of like the big mountains, Mount Rainier. Had a really great view from our airplane, and then views when we were actually in Seattle. And even when we were driving down the highway. And then I think, what is the other one? On our drive, I think we saw Mount St. Helens and Mount Hood. And I'm not sure what the other, I feel like there was one more we could see. I think from Seattle we could see, is it maybe Mount Adams? I don't remember. Okay, so there's our second card. We've got that. We're going to do the third one. So this last week, Stampin' Up! Hosted the virtual album retreat. This is Strawberry Slush, and it is a month-by-month album. It's 12, you get 12 projects. Each is a 2-page 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. And so over the weekend, or it wasn't really over the weekend, it was last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they had live videos where they put each of the pages together, gave you tips and tricks and stuff like that. It was, I don't know, there's probably about 24 hours worth of videos. There's also like written instructions and measurements, and each packet, pretty much all the pieces are cut for you, which was a huge time savings to have everything cut. So you had to do some prep work. You did stamping, blending, and then putting together. Some of the pages were interactive, and then some were just normal. But it's still available. So I started putting my pages together. I wasn't able to watch all of it live because I had other things already scheduled, and the timing, I would have been up until after midnight, which wouldn't have really worked well for me. There's no telling what I would have done at that point in time. I'd have had a mess of a layout. But anyway, the replays were there, so I've been watching them on a replay, and I found that for myself, I worked better if I actually kind of watched the video first, maybe watch it. I didn't try to like work along with them, but I maybe was like getting myself organized and watching the video so I could hear like the tips and the tricks and the spots where, you know, you had options or might get messed up. Anyway, and then I kind of worked at my own pace, and when I needed to reference back to the video, I could, because I didn't have to do it along with them. So in some places I was working faster, and other places I did something different, or I was slower. But just so you know, if you see me sharing those layouts and stuff, you can still order that whole kit and have access to all of those videos, instructions, photos, things that they shared as well. And they didn't actually put the pages together in order. They started with February. So if you do watch it, start with the February one, just because there's some information in that first video that might help you for the rest. To help answer some questions, I guess, is what it is. All right, those are my 3 cards with Garden Green. Then I moved to did some in Old Olive. 2 reasons. Old Olive actually matched some of these papers better, and also I ran out of Garden Green cardstock. So I'm going to switch my ink as well to Old Olive for these. So this color is the new Darling Duckling. So Strawberry Slush is a new in color. It's actually a returning in color. We had it years ago, like 10 years ago. We had this as an in color. And then Darling Duckling is a new in color. Alright, so they also gave prizes away, and I have not watched all the videos, so I don't actually know if maybe I want a prize or not. Who knows? I haven't seen all the videos, so we will see. I am using my virtual album, or my month-by-month album. Guess what? Mine's going to be a baby's first year album. And you might ask, who's baby? Well, guess what? I am going to be a grandma, and my youngest son and his wife are having their first baby. So this will be our first grandbaby. And I decided this month by month album would be to kind of document some of the things from his first year of life. He will be born later this year, so I'm not adding photos or journaling or anything, because the album will be for the future. Alright, so for these two, I switched to the other stamp set. So any stamp set would work. We'll do a birthday card. So anyway, I am working on the pages with that in mind, so if I need to, I will change, a title or something, but the titles are kind of based on the months. So, but some of them have subtitles, and that's where I've made a few changes, is on the subtitles. And then I did actually change a color on, I know on one of the layouts I changed one of the colors of cardstock. So if you're interested in that, you can let me know. It's available in the online store. There's some additional information about like what ink colors you'll need and some additional supplies, which isn't too much. Mostly ink, and in some cases you can substitute ink as well. Use a similar color. Alright, this is card 4. We've got a 5th card, and then we're going to finish by adding all the gems. And I wanted to just show you what I did with the gems. Alright, card number 4. And here is our last one. Another old olive base. This one is fresh Freesia with the pressed flowers. That virtual album retreat comes with basically 4 stamp sets. And then you'll have those to use in other scrapbooking or card making or whatever you want. So I kind of matched each of these panels, the pressed flower embossed panels, with the colors of the flowers or one of the flowers in the pattern paper. And since all the paper had green, either the garden green or the old olive, I chose the greens as my bases. Alrighty, there's that. And I'll go back later this week and get this video transferred over to YouTube, and then post that link as well, because in 30 days Facebook will delete this video. And I'm wondering, So, you know, if you go look at a post and it says something not available, it might be because it's older than 30 days, if it was, especially if it was a Facebook Live. And they deleted the live portion, but the rest of the post is still there. I'm wondering if I add the YouTube link into the post, that when they delete the video, will it populate with the YouTube version? Oh, I forgot to stamp on this one. All right, let's do that real quick. I got ahead of myself. I like this stamp in here, just a note, because then you can kind of use that for almost anything. Just a note. Okie dokie. I was trying to decide about doing a video with the paper pumpkin kit for July. So I might do that later with some alternates using the dies. Alright, so I've got all my cards done. So what I did was I kind of took them and lined them up from, let me see, let me do them like this. So I took my cards, so this one was the Strawberry Slush, the pinkiest, the one with the most pink. Then I have the Pretty in Pink. We're going lighter. Then we're going to the Fresh Freesia. This is the one with the crushed curry, but there's a little bit of like petal pink in here. And then this one has like no pink at all in it. So when you look at this strip of gems, they go from the Strawberry Slush to the Pretty in Pink to some that are kind of clear. Can you see that? Probably should have done it on white. Let's see. Let me pull this. So see, these are very pink, lighter pink, and then these are kind of more clear. So the reason I wanted to wait and do all my gems at the end is because I wanted to use the most pinky gems on the most pink card and go down so that my last card I didn't use any of the pink gems. Hope that makes sense. So that's what we're doing. Let's see if I can get my gems with this guy. So we're going to start with the pink ones. They're going on my Strawberry Slush card. 1, 2, and then the third one is going to go down here. So we're making a triangle. So that's that one. So for this one, I'm going to continue with, I've got 2 darker pink ones. I'm going to put one down here, and that's a dark pink and a lighter pink. Supposed to be Pretty in Pink and Strawberry Slush. So that's that one. Then here we've got 3 of the Pretty in Pink ones, which blend pretty well with the Fresh Freesia. And then we're going to move down. So I have one more of this light pink left. And where did I put it? Let's see. I actually put it down here because it's kind of close to that. And then I added those 2 clear ones, and that left me with the 3 clear ones. If I can get these guys to move. 1, 2, and my last guy. It's right there. Alright, so that used my whole strip. I came out exactly right. So those are the 5 cards. Alright, so basically I used the words, the dies, the paper. I used pretty much the whole suite and made some quick cards. Okie doke, that's what I have for you today. Thanks for joining me. We are nearing the end of July. We had at the beginning of the month new online exclusives that came out, 2 new kits that came out. We are now in the subscription period for the August paper pumpkin kit, which is Farmhouse Florals. So you have until August the 10th to get that one. If you're a subscriber, the July refills look like they were available today. They could have been available earlier, but I noticed them today. My monthly Designing Damsels kit. Okay, I finished the boxes last week. And I think I didn't send the email out to you guys, those that got the boxes. So I will get that done today. I think everybody this time was local for pickup, so I have those ready. The next Designing Damsels kit is featuring the cone flower celebration. So that email and registration info will be coming out soon. Just a note on emails. I don't send a lot of emails out, first of all, but when I do send them out, I send them out using a company called Constant Contact. I have noticed the last couple of months, my emails that have been sent out, if your email address is a Bell South or an AT&T email address, and there's a few random others, but that's a lot of my email list has those 2. Those emails are not going through. I guess your email provider, Bell South and AT&T, decided that Constant Contact is not something they want to send you. I don't know. So if you happen to have another email address, say for example a Gmail account, let me know. Maybe we need to switch you. I will try to also link my email into a post so that you can see it. Get to it from there because it may not show up in your inbox. All right, I think that is it for today, and have a great week. And next week will likely be a video for you. All right, I'm trying to do at least one live each month. Might not be more than that, so because we're busy with other things. But have a great week. Enjoy the summer, the end of summer. Bye.